Top 10 Most Interesting Facts About SpaceX. Hi everyone and welcome to this YouTube channel. Another of the intriguing realities about the Sun is that it has an extremely impressive attractive field. The attractive energy delivered through the Sun during attractive tempests causes sun-oriented flares. We see these as sunspots. In sunspots, the attractive lines bend and they turn, similar as a twister would on Earth. SpaceX has been putting wins on the board since the organization, established by sequential business visionary Elon Musk, turned into the principal's secretly supported gathering to place a payload in Earth's circle in 2008. Recoverable, reusable rocket organizers that touch down on dry land have been discussed for a really long time as a method for minimizing expenses and speed times required to circle back. Yet nobody had the option to make it happen, up to this point. The following are 10 different things you really want to be familiar with the SpaceX. 10. Who is Elon Musk and why is he building rockets? He made his underlying fortune as a prime supporter of PayPal and has since established Tesla Motors in SolarCity, a sunlight-based energy organization. In the mid-2000s, he and others saw the initial NASA was making by withdrawing from the matter of sending off shuttle to low Earth circle. In 2002, he bounced into that hole, establishing Space Exploration Technologies Corporation, or SpaceX, going into contest with other, for the most part more laid-out organizations, for example, Bowling and Virginia-based Orbital Sciences. 9. What has SpaceX done that other companies haven't? SpaceX scored its most memorable enormous title in 2010, when it turned into the principal privately owned business to send off a payload into space and return it to Earth unblemished, something just government offices like NASA or Russia's Roscosmos had done previously. Its upstanding landing and recuperation of the main phase of the Falcon 9 rocket on December 21, 2015 was another first. Blue Origin, possessed by Amazon pioneer Jeff Bezos, sent a rocket to the edge of room and landed it upstanding recently, yet it was an exhibit flight and didn't accomplish circle. 8. Our SpaceX rocket special. Generally, 80% of the parts in any SpaceX rocket are made on the organization's own production line floor, diminishing the expense of reappropriating. This keeps cost per pound of payload down and quality control in-house. One review by NASA and the Air Force assessed that the sticker price for going from the underlying plan phases of the Falcon 9 rocket to its most memorable flight was $440 million, about 33% of what it would have cost NASA. 7. How close is SpaceX to flying a crew? Extremely close, perhaps. The organization has utilized its Dragon rocket to make uncrewed freight rushes to the ISS. The Dragon was planned in view of group similarity, and that implies the boat has previously demonstrated its essential space-worthiness. However, it has an effective method for going before its life. Emotionally supportive networks are comparably demonstrated. SpaceX and Boeing are both booked to start run races to the ISS in 2017, and NASA has previously assigned the primary space travelers who will fly in the new ships. The 2017 objective could slip, and the June blast of one of SpaceX's freight rockets during send-off was not really uplifting news for the organization. The new send-off of the Falcon 9, even without the upstanding first-stage landing, was a certainty supporter. However, with Space Explorer lids on the line in later flights, the organization should put a line of good send-offs together to compensate for that exceptionally terrible one. 6. Where is SpaceX's mission control? You know the kitchen region in your office, where you microwave your espresso and warm your lunch? Indeed, the SpaceX base camp in Hawthorne, California has a superior kitchen. Furthermore, you know that region close to the kitchen where individuals assemble to blabber and try not to return to their work areas. At SpaceX, they utilize that spot to send off rockets. Truly, the SpaceX office is a rambling one-story modern plant that was initially an industrial facility for Boeing airplane fuselage. SpaceX took it over and reused into an across-the-board spaceport. Huge number of square feet are surrendered to desk areas. Basically, nobody at SpaceX, including Musk, has an office with entryways. Nearby, that is the production line floor and the kitchen. Furthermore, nearby that, behind a high glass wall, is mission control. Laborers assemble to watch dispatches and recuperations, then return to their machines or PCs or work areas. It's very Silicon Valley, just way cooler. 5. What is the Dragon spacecraft like? Picture a 21st century Apollo show. After the disturbed history of the space transport, including the deficiency of 2 7-man teams, SpaceX and most other rocket organizations have gotten back to the old model of the upstanding rocket with the group roosted on top of the stack. The Dragon is configurable to situate up to 7 individuals, yet it can and normally will convey less. The departure rockets, which are utilized to pull the boat away from the supporter in case of a fire or concealable blast, are not mounted in that frame of mind over the container, as they were in the Apollo and Mercury days. Rather, they are incorporated into its base, driving the case away rather than pulling it. 4. Is SpaceX profitable? It's difficult to say since the organization is secretly held, and that implies its books aren't open for examination. The conviction among most experts, notwithstanding, is that SpaceX must, at this point, be bringing in cash. It has $4.2 billion in agreements from NASA alone, and its new progress in breaking the Guard contract business, breaking the Syndication United Launch Alliance appreciated with the military, implies more income. This is all on top of its agreements for private satellite send-offs, giving it 60 send-offs overall on its manifest, worth about $7 billion. That is a ton for an organization whose primary selling point is that it can send off satellites for about 33% of the expense the more seasoned organizations do, getting a ton free from cap space for benefits. 3. Why are rockets still so failure-prone despite decades of production? A superior inquiry may be the reason they fly by any means. Consider a rocket an egg, or, all the more explicitly, an eggshell. Consider the fuel, the white, and the yolk. The Saturn V, the biggest rocket at any point fabricated, weighed 6.5 million ounces at send-off, and 5.5 million of that was fuel. That is fundamentally a bomb, one that is intended to play out a controlled blast. The powers in play when a rocket is lit, concerning science, physical science, speed, and air obstruction, can be hugely damaging. It's simply by controlling them to inside very tight resistances that any send-off is fruitful. The SpaceX blast in June is accepted to have been brought about by a flawed swagger in the rocket's subsequent stage, which permitted a high-pressure holder of helium to break free, sending it crushing through a close-by tank of fluid oxygen. 2. Who are Musk's main competitors? He has a ton of them. Boeing, which is building its CST-100 rocket to fly manned ISS missions alongside Musk's Dragon, is a key opponent. So is Orbital Sciences, the organization that shares the ISS freight run agreement with SpaceX. Joint Launch Alliance, ULA, is an organization of Lockheed Martin and Boeing, and Musk is at battle with it for a piece of the Guard, sending off business. Richard Branson's Virgin Galactic is a minor player, intending to sell just suborbital rides for travelers with abundant resources. Paul Allen's Vulcan Aerospace correspondingly needs to play in the space excursion area. However, here as well, genuine flights are still not even close to fast approaching. Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin considers itself to be a major player, and its new upstanding arriving of a suborbital rocket put it in the game. In any case, Blue Origin also has quite far to go before it is really flying travelers or payloads. 1. What are Musk's ultimate goals? Turning into the Apple of the rocket business is one perspective on. However, Musk challenges on that relationship without disputing on expecting a comparably prevailing job in the space area. His greatest, dreamiest objective is sending individuals to Mars, which doesn't create him uncommon except if he can really accomplish it. He flaunts that he could fly human travelers there for just $500,000 per seat. Yet, for this situation, he might over-guarantee. Like and subscribe to the channel, give a comment in case of any questions and confusions, and also must click on the bell icon.